Most women think they know what men want in that moment, but the truth? They're usually doing it all wrong, because there's one way to go down on a man that makes him obsessed with you, and once you know this, he'll never forget the experience. Here's the mistake most women make. They focus only on the physical act, but the secret isn't just about technique. It's about how you make him feel while you're doing it. It's about building anticipation, using your confidence, your eye contact, your touch, and yes, mixing in those little teases that make him crave more. When you shift your mindset from just performing to actually creating an experience, that's when he loses control. And that's what I'm about to show you. But before I give you the step-by-step of how to do this, I want you to pause for a second. If you've ever felt like you wanted to completely blow his mind, not just once, but every single time, make sure you hit that like button right now. Because what I'm about to share next isn't just a tip. It's the difference between being forgettable and unforgettable. At some point, every woman has asked herself this question: am I doing it the way he truly wants? And if you've ever thought about that, you're not alone. Because here's the truth. Men don't always say directly what actually drives them wild. They'll act like they're just happy you're doing it at all. But deep down, they have these hidden desires, these private fantasies of how they want you to go down on them. And when you do it in that way, it doesn't just please him, it makes him hooked on you. Now, here's the best part. This isn't about some difficult trick or doing something that feels unnatural. What he really longs for is how you make him feel in the moment. Wanted, desired, teased in a way that makes him lose control. And most women don't notice this. They focus so much on the act itself that they forget the small details that make it unforgettable. Picture this. He's lying there already excited, but instead of rushing, you make him wait. You let him see the fire in your eyes, hear the sounds of your pleasure, feel the tease of your closeness. Suddenly, it's not just physical anymore. It's emotional, it's electric, and now he's completely hooked. That's the difference between a moment he enjoys and a memory he can't stop replaying in his head. So today I'm going to give you 5 powerful secrets, 5 things he quietly wants when you go down on him. Some of these may surprise you, some might make you laugh, and a few will probably make you blush. But I promise you this, by the end you'll know exactly how to take him to a place no one else has. But let me ask you first, are you ready to discover what he truly wants? Here's something most women don't think about when it comes to driving a man crazy. It's not only about what you do with your body, it's also about what he hears. Men are much more sensitive to sound in intimate moments than most people realize. Think about it. For a man, sight is usually the main sense. He's always looking, always watching, always visual. But when he hears you, your moans, your breathing, your little gasps of pleasure, it cuts through him in a completely different way. It skips logic, skips thought, and hits him right in that primal, emotional part of his mind. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean you have to put on some exaggerated show. In fact, men can sense when it's fake, and it does the exact opposite of what you want. What he craves is the real thing. When he hears you truly enjoying yourself, even in the smallest way, it reassures him. It tells him, she's into this. She's into me. And that is the sound he's waiting for. Picture this. You're going down on him, and you let out just the faintest hum or soft sigh of pleasure, like you're savoring him. Do you realize how strong that is? To him, it feels like you're not only doing this for him, but doing it with him. That little sound shows him you're present in the moment, and it flips a switch inside him that makes him twice as turned on. And don't forget the way you say his name, whispering it, moaning it, even letting it slip out in the heat of passion. It creates an instant bond. Suddenly, he's not just some guy experiencing pleasure. He's your man, the one you're choosing, the one you're hungry for. Every time you let his name fall from your lips, you're reinforcing that connection. Here's the thing, sound is also a way of guiding him. Think of it like this. When he tries something new, maybe changes his rhythm or adds more pressure, How does he know if you enjoy it? Not because you give him a long explanation mid-act, but because he hears it in your voice. That sharp intake of breath, that moan you didn't plan, that's the feedback he's waiting for, and when you give it to him, he feels like he's winning. And men, no matter how confident they seem, need that reassurance more than they'll ever admit. Now, let me share a secret that almost no one talks about. Sound also makes the memory last. Long after it's over, he may forget which position you were in or how long it lasted, but he will never forget the sound of your pleasure. That echo stays in his head when he's driving to work, when he's lying in bed alone, when he's thinking about you during the day. It's the soundtrack of desire, and it keeps him hooked on you. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you're in that moment, notice what sounds naturally come up for you. Don't hold them back. Don't silence yourself because you feel shy or nervous. Let them out, even if they're soft, even if they're small. Trust me, he's listening to every single one. Because here's the truth, he doesn't just want to feel you, he wants to hear you. That's what tells him the connection is real, that you're with him, that you're lost in it just as much as he is. And when he gets that, that's when he'll never forget you. So let me ask, have you noticed how he reacts differently when he hears your pleasure? And if you knew that your voice alone could make him crave you, wouldn't you use it more intentionally next time? If there's one mistake many women make when going down on a man, it's this: they start too fast. They think the goal is to get straight to the act, straight to the pleasure. And while yes, he'll enjoy it, what men actually desire most is the build-up. Teasing is not just an extra step, it's the thing that makes the main event irresistible. Think of it this way. Imagine someone hands you your favorite dessert. If they just drop it in front of you, sure, you're happy, you eat it, you enjoy it, and it's done. But if they slowly bring it closer, let you smell it, let you look at it, let you wait for it, you start craving it in a way that makes that first bite so much more satisfying. That's exactly what teasing does to a man. Most men will never admit it, but they love when you make them wait. When you hover, when you kiss around the area but don't quite go there yet, when you drag it out until he's practically begging, that's when he's most turned on. It's the mental tension, the anticipation, that sends his arousal sky high. Here's what teasing does on a deeper level. It makes him surrender. Men spend their whole lives being in control, making choices, handling responsibilities. But in that moment, when you're drawing it out, when you're making him restless, he loses control. He's no longer the one deciding, you are. And trust me, men secretly love being pushed to that edge. Now, teasing doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as kissing along his thighs, running your hands slowly over him, or letting your lips hover just close enough for him to feel your breath. That alone will drive him crazy. The trick is he knows what's about to happen, but he doesn't know exactly when. That little bit of waiting is what makes the release so much more powerful later. And here's the best part. Teasing shows confidence. When you're not rushing, when you can slow things down, it tells him, I know I'm in control, I know you want me, and I'll give it to you when I decide. That confidence is magnetic. It's not just about the act itself, it's about the energy you bring into it, and he'll feel it deeply. Think about the moments you've seen him squirm, his breath quicken, his body tense, just from you holding back. That's not frustration, it's excitement. It's his body saying, don't stop, keep going, you've got me right where you want me. And the more you tease, the more powerful it will be when you finally give in. Here's the truth. Men may act like they only care about speed, about just getting to it. But what really stays with them is the moment before, the waiting, the tension, the suspense. That's what plays in his head long after. That's what makes him crave you again and again. So the next time you're about to go down on him, don't just dive right in. Slow it down. Tease him. Make him wait. Stretch out the tension until he can't take it anymore. Because when you finally give him what he's been waiting for, the pleasure won't just be physical. It'll feel like an explosion of everything he's been craving since you started. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how much stronger his reaction is when you hold back even just a little, that's the real magic of teasing. And once you master it, he'll never see you the same again. Here's one of the biggest truths about men. They don't always say what they want, but their body gives it away. Every movement, every breath, every sound he makes is like a guide showing you exactly where to go and how to do it. The women who know how to follow that guide are the ones who drive men completely wild, because it feels like they can read his mind. Think about it. When you touch him a certain way and his chest suddenly rises, that's a sign. When you change rhythm and he grips the sheets tight, that's the jackpot. When you hear his breathing get quicker or a deeper moan escapes him, that's his body saying yes. Don't stop. Most women overlook these signals or they doubt themselves. But when you tune in and respond, he feels not just physical pleasure, but a deep sense of being understood. And that's the secret. Men don't just want the act. They want the feeling that you get them. They want to feel like you're connected, like you can sense what they need without them saying a word. That kind of bond is addictive because it turns something mechanical into something magical. The funny thing is, men don't always admit this. They might joke about it, act casual, or even pretend it doesn't matter. But the truth is, when a woman can read his body better than he can explain it himself, he's hooked. It feels like you're speaking a secret language that no one else knows. That's what makes you unforgettable to him. So how do you actually do this? You slow down. You watch closely. You notice every small change. If his body tightens when you tease a certain spot, stay there a little longer. If he arches his back when you change the pace, you've found something that excites him. When you hear those involuntary sounds he can't control, that's when you know you're giving him more than pleasure. You're giving him surrender. Reading his reactions is also about your confidence. When you respond to his body, you're showing him that you're in sync. You're not just guessing, and you're not just repeating some routine you read somewhere. You're saying, I see you, I feel you, I know you. And that means more to him than any technique. Here's the beautiful part. When you respond to his body, it frees him. It lets him stop thinking, stop trying to perform, and just let go. He doesn't need to guide you or wonder what to say because you're already tuned in. And that freedom is something men rarely get. In their daily lives, they're expected to take charge, make choices, keep things in control. But in that moment, when you're reading his body like a map, he gets to surrender, and surrender for a man is addictive. Picture this. He's lying there completely lost in you, because every move you make feels like it's designed just for him. You adjust when he tenses. You speed up when he moans. You slow down when his breath catches. To him, it feels like you're inside his head, like you know him better than anyone ever has. That's the kind of moment he can't forget. That's what makes him crave you long after it's over. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you're in that moment, stop asking yourself, am I doing this right? Instead, ask, what is his body telling me right now? Because when you learn to follow that map, you'll never be lost, and he'll never want to let you go. Let me ask, have you noticed how differently he reacts when you pay close attention to his signals? That's the secret many women miss. But when you do it right, he'll keep chasing that experience with you again and again. Here's another mistake people make. They think going down on a man is only about one part of his body, but what makes it unforgettable is when you bring your entire presence into it. Your hands, your body, your energy, even your breath. All of that together adds layers that turn something simple into something irresistible. Think about it. If you only focus on one area, it can feel repetitive quickly. Sure, he'll enjoy it in the moment, but it won't leave that deep impression. What men secretly want is to feel like you've wrapped your whole being around them, when the act turns into an experience, not just a routine. Your hands, for example, are one of your most powerful tools. The mix of hands and mouth creates double sensations that make him weak. But it's not only about the movements. It's about your intention. When your hands are caressing his thighs, sliding over his chest, or holding him close, he feels surrounded. He feels claimed. He feels like he's inside a space of your desire where nothing else exists. That's intoxicating. And then there's your body. The closeness, the weight of you leaning in, the warmth of your skin touching his, it all magnifies the intensity. Even if you don't think about it, your body tells him, I'm here, I want this, I want you. That energy is something he feels deeply in his core. Don't forget the power of your breath either, the way you exhale against his skin, the warmth brushing over him. It's enough to send chills through his body. That's because it's intimate, it's human, it's raw. He's not only feeling pleasure, he's feeling you. Here's something men won't always say, but definitely feel. When you use your whole presence, it feels like worship. It's not just the mechanics, it's the attention. It's the message. I'm fully here, and all of me is focused on you right now. And for a man, that's powerful beyond words. But here's the twist. This isn't only about him. When you use your whole body and all your energy, you also become more connected to the moment. It stops feeling like a duty and turns into play, into intimacy, into something almost like art. When you're touching him, holding him, teasing him with your breath, you're not just giving, you're involved too. And he notices that difference right away. Think of the last time someone gave you their complete attention, like you were the only person that mattered. How magnetic was that feeling? How much did it draw you in? That's exactly what he experiences when you bring your entire presence into the moment. He feels chosen, wanted, special, and that's something every man quietly craves. Now picture this. Imagine you're not just doing the act, but actually creating an experience. Your hands are moving over him, your body is close, your breath is warm against his skin, your eyes glance up at him. He's not only feeling pleasure, he's taken over by every part of you. That's the moment he fully loses control. That's when he thinks, no one has ever done this the way she does. So the next time you go down on him, remember this. Don't shrink it to just one action. Bring all of you into it. Your touch, your closeness, your sounds, your energy. When he feels everything you're giving, it stops being about the act itself and becomes all about you. And trust me, that's when he won't just want the moment, he'll want you again and again. So ask yourself, are you giving your full presence or are you holding back? Because the second you decide to give all of yourself, that's when you'll see a reaction in him you've never seen before. When it comes to intimacy, most people put their focus on the build-up, the teasing, the rhythm, the pace, all those sensations rising to the peak. But here's something powerful most women don't realize. The ending of the experience is what stays in his memory the most. Think about it. If the beginning is the spark and the middle is fire, then the ending is the echo. It's what plays in his head when he lies in bed at night, when he's driving to work, or when he drifts into thoughts of you during quiet moments. And here's the truth. What he desires isn't only the physical release. Anyone can give him that. What drives him crazy is when the ending feels almost like devotion, when it feels like you weren't just giving but also savoring him. Now, be honest with yourself. There's a clear difference between finishing something and finishing it beautifully. Think about a singer ending a song. They can end flat, or they can end on a breathtaking high note. Same performance, but a completely different memory. With him, it works in the same way. If you finish like you're simply done, he'll only remember the release. But if you finish in a way that shows he was worth every second of your attention and care, he won't just remember the release. He'll remember you. So what does that look like in action? It's in the way you slow down instead of stopping suddenly, the way you linger with your touch, your lips, your presence, even after the peak has passed. It's in showing him that his body isn't just a tool for a reaction, but something you truly enjoy exploring, cherishing and admiring. Even the look in your eyes at the end, soft and warm with that little smile, can say without words, you are my man, and I love giving this to you. Do you see how much that changes things? Suddenly it's not just an act, it becomes an experience. And here's the secret: men may not say it out loud, but they notice. He knows when it feels like it was just mechanical, compared to when it came from a place of true admiration. And understand this: admiration doesn't mean submission. It doesn't mean you lose power or make yourself small. In fact, it's one of the strongest places you can stand. Because when a man feels that from you, he feels chosen. He feels not only wanted, but deeply treasured. That ending becomes the crown on the whole experience, locking it into his memory as something unforgettable. So let me ask you, how do you think he reacts to that? Does he go cold afterward and distance himself? Or does he pull you closer, kiss you longer, look at you with something different in his eyes? Exactly. When you end in a way that feels like devotion, you plant a memory in his mind that no other woman can easily replace. You make him think, she doesn't just please me, she makes me feel like a king. And trust me, when you make a man feel like that, he will do anything to keep you in his life. So here's the challenge. Next time you're in that moment, don't just think about getting him there. Think about ending it beautifully. Because it's not the peak that defines the memory, it's how you close the moment that will echo in his heart long after the lights are off. Here's the truth: going down on a man isn't only about the act itself, it's about the entire experience you create for him. It's about taking something he might think he already understands and rewriting it in a way that leaves him weak, hooked, and craving you only. When you use sound, when you let your eyes meet his, when you play with rhythm, when you let your confidence shine, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're creating a fantasy that he'll replay in his mind over and over. And let's be real, that's the kind of power most women don't even realize they have. But the ones who learn it, they become unforgettable. Now let me ask, don't you want to be that woman? The one who doesn't just please him but leaves him ruined for anyone else. The one who doesn't just give him a release but gives him a story he'll never stop replaying in his head. Because here's the reality: any man can get the act, but not every man gets the woman who brings energy, passion, and full control. That's what makes you stand out. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just listen and nod. Put it into practice the next time you're with him. Choose one of these techniques and watch how his body reacts. Experiment, play,